are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Good. I know you're about to write 2 more chapters. What book are you finishing writing right now?
It is not part of the Harbingers of Chaos. It's a new book, new series, and I haven't released the title yet, but it's an apocalyptic book.
Oh,
Apocalyptic wide shoes romance.
awesome. Yeah, I know that when we were on that 24-hour write-a-thon, you were kind of going off of, you had a couple different projects going, and it was cool to see, you're going off and you're dabbling in all these other areas and stuff like that, kind of like I do. I was like, ooh, that's fun. Darby's like off and doing some different stuff. I have to tell you, I still have a hangover from Burning Ember. I have not continued this series because I can't move past it. I mean, I did start Lost Lyrebird, and I was like, nope. I paused it because I was like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Like, I will come back to it when I'm ready, but I'm still stuck with Maverick. So I'm like, I just have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's I feel like most people that they need like an emotional recharge before they dive into Lost Lyrebird. Like that one already takes you through the ringer. So yeah.
Well, and I know that, you have the Christmas novella, and I had several people tell me like, well, there's a Christmas one with Maverick. And I'm like, I just don't even know if I could do that. I just want to stay here a little bit longer. And I know that lots of readers understand that, even as authors being like, I just want to stay with this world and my people a little bit longer before you kind of release them to the wild or however you may have it, But that was when it definitely stuck with me. All the characters, all the everything. I remember I was messaging you right away. I was just like, oh my God, I freaking love this. So I will take as much of that series as you are willing to write. I'm sure you've been told that by a lot of people though. So
Yeah, it's something that I feel like I put my whole heart into those ones, and I think even for me it kind of gives me a hangover.
yeah.
So, like emotionally. So
Well, I know we've
I
talked about this before. How long did Burning Ember take you to write?
I want to say it's been so long. I swear it was like a year and a half to write, and then I scrapped the ending, like a good more than not half of the book, but a good amount. And then I rewrote the ending, and it took me like 3 years to edit it. So it took me like twice as long to edit it. And yeah, so I think a total of like almost 4.5 years or something like that.
Now, what was interesting when I started Lost Lyrebird was kind of like the author's notes in the beginning. It almost says that it should be before Burning Ember, like because of the
Yeah.
storyline and everything like that. So, and I'm almost, as I started, I was like, oh, I wish maybe I would have listened. I had known that, and I could have I would have listened to him in reverse. But tell me a little bit about that. So, how the second one jumps back in time, correct?
Yeah. So I didn't start it until after Burning Ember, but I realized while writing Lost Lyrebird that it really is book zero. They are the it couple, and they're already an it couple by the time Burning Ember starts. And I was going to write kind of the before and, you know what I mean, during and after
Mm-hmm.
of their love story. And then I just decided, no, this will be, this is pretty much book one or book zero. And what I'll probably do is make it book zero, leave Burning Ember as book one, and then have the next one be book two. But it it was just their story. And so yeah, I just had to kind of go with what they were telling me, and you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
have them be going to be by the time Ember rolls into the story. So
Yeah, I love it, and I don't know who's my favorite. Like, I've thought several times as I was listening to Burning Ember, I'm like, who do I... Well, obviously Maverick. I mean, I was in your DMs like, oh my God, this man. But as far as the others, it's just like I loved Mav's internal monologue, like everything that he would say, or this girl and this. Well, I was just like, oh my God, I love Darby's mind. I was like, this is so much fun. But then I think it's who is it? The comedic relief. I don't want to get his name wrong. Is it Brody?
Bodhi.
Bodhi. Oh my God. I love Bodhi. I mean, I've gotten a little taste of him too in Lost Lyrebird, and he's just so much fun.
Yeah, he comes in the series. That's a character that I feel like will develop the most
Yeah.
over the arch of the series, and I'm saving him for book 5 for that reason. Like he is, he's a prominent figure in every book. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. It'll be fun to hear his story eventually. That's for sure. I'm curious to see where you take his character. So a little bit about you. When did you first realize you wanted to be a writer?
The spark happened when I was watching The Secret Window, and Johnny Depp is alone in the woods, and he's just this kind of like hermit writer. And seriously, I was like, I want that life. I don't
How
know.
old are you?
And it was, a psychological thriller, but I don't know. Something just kind of sparked, like sitting at a window, being in a, home in the woods, and just alone with my mind and creativity, and I loved that. So.
It's a great escape. As much as readers love to escape in the books, I love to escape in my writing. So I totally agree with you to say, yeah, I could be by myself in the woods in a window and just write, and it would be a fabulous life. So far you have 3 books. Correct me if I'm wrong, Burning Ember, Lost Library, and then the novella, correct? Are there any others you have published so far?
Yeah, so I have Burning Ember, Lost Lyrebird, the novella, A Perfect Christmas with Chaos, and then I actually published, and I didn't really announce it, I was going to do like a whole different TikTok page about teaching romance writers how to write, because I wrote a book that's writing romance that's anything but vanilla,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about writing epically hot and steamy romance. And and when I say epic, it's kind of taking the lessons from like Harry Potter, from Game of Thrones, from Lord of the Rings, and those epic fantasies, and how to take kind of the lessons learned from the emotional journeys of those and put them into a romantic tale.
Interesting. So is that one out yet?
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay.
It's
So
on Amazon. I
when
just
did
haven't shouted it to the rooftops.
when did you publish that one? In the midst of the others or
uh,
before?
yeah, I want to say maybe September, October of last year.
Oh, okay. So recently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I did actually see you mention it in one of your TikTok videos recently, and I couldn't, and you know how TikTok is. Maybe this was an old video that popped up in my algorithm, but it sounded like it was coming soon or something like that. So I didn't know if it had been out yet. But
Yeah, so it's out. I didn't say anything much about it, and I was going to, just have a page and start doing kind of a educational about writing page, but I am back to work full time, so I really, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's enough to write and take care of my kid and, and do this. So.
Oh, yeah. Like me and you were just talking, we were like, you're like, I've got 2 more chapters I want to write. And I'm like, that's fine. We'll talk for like an hour. We can both go back to our writing caves because the weekend is the only time I have to write because I work full time too. It's like you have to try and sneak it in, and it's tough. It's a juggle.
Yeah, it's good that the kids are older because
Yeah.
it allows me more free time to write. My daughter just got her own car yesterday. She's my baby that's still home. And I'm like, oh, the freedom, because now she no longer needs me to chauffeur.
Yes. I had one of those
Yeah.
just, yeah, I had one of those just happen too. She's not my baby. She's my middle, but she's definitely the busiest. And she's, committed to cheer. Me and you've talked about this. Like, is your daughter's in dance or something like that? Is that correct? Yeah.
She's a actor.
So
Mhm.
the dedication that comes to all those practices and like, oh my Lord. And when Sophia was finally able to drive, it was like, oh, this is nice. No longer the chauffeur, and you have that extra time to maybe. I spend it during the week. I try and do like admin because I don't think that my brain could fully get into writing, but it is nice to have that break.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, thankfully I found a little more balance this year, and that was a struggle before when I was working full time, is I would come home and I wouldn't be able to, really, I would rather read and relax
Mm-hmm.
than write. And now I'm able to come home and kind of turn back the creativity and, and write. But it wasn't something I was always able to do, like finding that balance, because sometimes the stress, from work carries home.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Right now, I work definitely more of a customer service position, and customer service will take it out of you so that when you come home, yeah, you just want to stare at the wall. You just want to
Yeah.
turn on some music or not do anything. You don't want to sit down and write, even a 500 or 1,000 words, let alone a couple thousand, So I totally get it. And it's the time management of juggling mom, juggling, wife, juggling full-time jobs, and then this on the side, chasing your dreams. I mean, you've had several conversations about that. It's tough,
It is.
but we're doing it and we're rocking it. So yay for us,
We
you
are.
know?
Yeah. How's your new book going? How's it coming along?
The one that we started writing on New Year's.
Yeah.
And I just hit today, I did about 3,500 words before we jumped on this interview. So I'm sitting at 50,000 right now.
Uh,
So it's more than halfway to its first draft. But it's the first of a trilogy. So I'm doing something I've never done before. I am going to wait. I'm going to write all three and then
uh-huh.
and do all three first drafts and then go back and go through them and finalize it. And I'm going to do a rapid release. I've never done that before as an author. So I'm excited because it's new and it's different. And the story, it's coming along really, really good. So I'm excited about that too.
Don't you love that, how it just kind of unfolds itself to you?
Oh, I love it. There's nothing,
No way.
yeah. There's nothing better than not wanting to leave the world yourself. Like, I have a couple alpha readers reading it right now, and they're like, oh my God, this is like crack. Like, I can't stop reading. I just want you to keep writing. And I'm like, I feel the same way. And when you have a project like that, it's just, yeah, you just love it. You know, it's a great feeling.
Yeah.
So now that you are dabbling in other genres, what do you think is your favorite kind of in the romance, obviously, space, like subgenres of romance to write? Because you've done motorcycle, but now you said you're doing a dystopian, and do you have other ones that you're doing?
Yeah, so this one will be a dark religious romantasy end of the world kind of thing, and 2 scenes left to write, and then it's done. I have an editor lined up and stuff for that. So, while I'm working on the other things for it and editing, I'm going to be finishing. I have about 35,000 words into a dark retelling with Alice in Wonderland themes, but it also has a bit of Suits and a bit of Office
I
feel
love
to it.
this. I love it.
And then darkness. And so it it's really just playing in my mind and writing a story at the same time.
Yeah.
And then I have Overdoser, which is the next one of the Harbingers of Chaos. That's already going and started. And then I have a it's like a romantasy tale that life, death, it has Scream Reapers, and so yeah, that as well.
So it's kind of hard when I finish a book. I'm like, oh, well, I'm in my romantasy era, or I'm in my dark mafia era, or whatever. So would you say that you're more in the because you're kind of finishing a dystopian romantasy? Would you say you're more in that kind of era right now as an author, wanting to write that kind of stuff? I mean, you have a retelling that's, I mean, kind of a little like, Alice in Wonderland, a little out there. What would you?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think I was always kind of a more urban fantasy and romantasy kind of writer, and that it's both because motorcycle romance too, like that was pushing me out of my comfort zone. It wasn't something like I was reading as often. It was almost like a genre I fell in love with
Mm-hmm.
and really took to because I was writing paranormal and kind of this urban fantasy romance before Burning Ember.
Okay.
And so it's kind of, yeah, like I feel like I'm not hindered, you know what I mean, by only writing one genre, that they all appeal to me, I guess.
Yeah.
I even have a couple I've plotted out that are romances,
Okay.
more contemporary stuff, and then one romantasy series that I'll work on down the road. So,
So what?
yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of wherever my mind takes me.
I feel that as an author. I was actually having a conversation with another author yesterday about it. I'm like, I feel like I'm kind of a hard sell as an author because when you go to book events and everything, people can typically look at your sign or your table and go, oh, she writes mafia. Oh, she writes small town. And me, they look at me and they go, what do you write? And I'm like, a little bit of everything. And so you're kind of like in that same arena. And it's fun. I write wherever I want to go, whatever I feel like writing, because I feel like that's what you just do as an artist and create. But on the marketing side of things, sometimes it can create issues, I've noticed.
Oh, yeah, I mean, just because it's like, which banner do you take? Do you take
Yeah.
them all?
Yeah.
And yeah, where kind of like, how do you brand yourself as an author? I think just dark romance for me is what it will
Yeah.
fall under, and some are going to be, darker than others,
Yep.
and some are going to be epics, and some are going to be,
Yep.
shorter. So I really am going to kind of dabble in it all as I go, and just let whatever story takes over my mind, come to
Yeah.
fruition.
I feel you. I'm the same. I'm like, I just label myself dark romance anymore. I have like one rom-com and a couple that are more light, but at the same time, the majority is dark. So we're just going to go with that in all the different areas. I do have a question for you, though. Reading or listening to Burning Ember, rather, I wanted to ask you, have you ever been a part of a motorcycle gang? Because you literally wrote it so well. But just in hearing you talk, no, it was more just you fell in love with the genre, or did you grow up around bikes and that kind of lifestyle?
Well, I would say it was, oh, I wouldn't say it was rougher, but there was definitely the grit to it of my, it's a part of my family. And then my dad was a biker and he had biker friends. And he went to, Sturgis and he did all of the things. And when he was younger, he kind of lived that lifestyle. And so he connected me with bikers, and I went to rallies, and I went to, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
talked with a bunch of people, and I did a ton of research, and I read the grittiest, like Hell's Angels stories and things like that that I could find. Like I really did my due diligence to get in that mindset and find out, And
Yeah.
then the stuff I read wasn't like I stuck to reading things that I felt like really represented that, real to grittiness about it that I wanted to make sure to include it in my series. So
You did a great job. I was definitely like, I could have sworn I was like, maybe she was part of a gang at one time. Like, was she Ember?
I
I was,
live in Utah. I am part of like I live in the middle of yeah, like a religious state. But I did find it and I did do the research to kind of get there, and thankfully I had a lot of people that were willing to help.
yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. So you have the base and then you just branch from there is what it sounds like.
Okay.
So when you write, would you say you're more of a planner and a plotter, or are you more of a pantser?
I was always a plotter, like heavy plotter with Burning Ember, with Lost Lyrebird, with those epics. I feel like you almost have to be. And then with this one I'm working on now, there's been some, some good plotting, but really, I guess I've pantsed a lot of it too because I had my idea of where it was going. It was very solid in my head. And so it's not like I, plotted the whole thing out, but I wasn't pantsing either the whole thing. It was almost a hybrid, I guess.
Yeah.
And then when I go back through and I do my edits, that's where I'll take some of the lessons from the writing epic romance kind of thing and interweave them as I'm doing my edits, like my theme, my symbolism, interlayering, the meaning that I want it to get across, things like that, that I'll, like what I'm going to double up, what I'm going to hit triple endings. I don't know, yeah, when I go through the edits, I'll kind of layer those things in. And that's when I'll take space after this writing is done to make sure I'm hitting all of those points, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense because I write the same way. The first draft is more just dialogue and almost stage direction, if that makes sense, where we're
Yeah.
going, what we're doing. And then, you have in your mind, I make my notes of like as I said, the symbols, this, or that. The second draft is always my favorite because the story's there. And then you get to go and you get to layer the creativity and, the colors of the sun or the this or the that or the symbolism here and there and connecting the dots between phrases and all that kind of stuff. So no, I write the same way, so it makes perfect sense what she said.
Yeah. Deepening emotion, like, dialing in the dialogue, doing things that are going to make it, yeah, because like you said, the stage direction, it is what's going to happen and what I want to be there, but yeah, it's not the end of
Yeah. Yeah.
what it will be.
How many drafts do you say you do? You just do the first and the second? You do the third? You do how many it takes? What do you notice you kind of do as a writer?
With Lost Lyrebird, I want to say I went through that thing so many times, so many times. Especially the first, I want to say half, I probably go through over a dozen times,
Yeah.
and that thing was 198,000 words, so it nearly. I knew I shot myself in the foot by writing, that much because I knew it would be double the work to try and tie it all in and tie it together. But people had waited so long for it that I felt like they deserved it, the
Yeah.
readers. So this one is pretty clean, but I would say less than 5 times I'll probably go through it
Yeah.
again.
Is it Is it long like Lost Lyrebird? How, because you write lengthy books, which
Yes, I
I'm
do.
here I'm here for. I'm not, I'm not saying anything bad about it. I love it. I've noticed that as my writing has progressed over the years, my books have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. In the beginning, I was turning out the 250 to 280 page book. Now they're all basically hitting 100K or more to tell the story and the world building and everything that goes into it. So I love it. I'm there for a big beefy book. But how big is your dystopian one you're getting ready to finalize?
It's 113,000 words right now. So I think end goal 120,000,
Okay.
which should be really good. And it's not the end of the, like, it, hopefully it will be a duology, because that's the point, is that, you know what I mean? I can never finish at 100,000 words. So, but I'm ending it for now in a good way. You know what I mean? In a
Yeah.
good ending that people are definitely going to want the next book. And I knew that going into it. So it was like, I was okay. Because even when I was at 80,000, I'm like, I could end it here, but I want to push it a little bit more. And so I think one more book with this one, and it will just be a duology, is what I'm thinking. So
That's
too.
that's the way I kind of do too. Like I'm like, oh, I try and aim for like between 80 and 90 or 80 and 100,000 words for a first draft, because I know I'm going to probably add at least 20 to 30 more thousand in my second
Yeah.
go through.
Yeah. But for the biker series, I will keep that about the same, so that the books are very, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
And I'll try to stick to a goal of writing of about 160,000, and then, trying to wrap it up. I don't want them to be as long as Lost Firebird, but I definitely want to be about 160,000 on those.
Yeah. I know what you say too about, I was going to ask you that if what you're writing right now is a duology, because, or if it's a series, start of a series, because what I released last year, Cursed Lifeline, is, but it's exactly like you're saying. It's a series of interconnected standalones. So for this couple, what I keep trying to tell everyone is, for this couple, we're done. Like, will it be a series? Yes, but don't let that deter you from reading. Like, we end on an okay note, but it does hint that we're going to continue. So how do you kind of deal like with that, I guess, and with the readers wanting more? Because that's a big thing as an author that we deal with. You write something and everyone's like, I want the next one right now. And it's like, okay, but it takes time to write it. You know what I mean? So just how have you felt or experienced being able to kind of manage that need and want from the reader, and still giving time to your manuscripts the way that you want to, and making sure the story's correct?
I think I don't let it, like, I'm flattered, and it really boosts my confidence, but I don't let it get me down. You know what I mean? I don't let it put me, I guess, make me feel pressure. I've definitely been able to manage the stress better that way, of, not letting things get to me or stress me out. And so, yeah, I'm just like, that's great. It's on, like, it's definitely a goal of mine. It's my plan. It's what I'm working towards, and I'm writing in the book, but I don't let it, like, affect my writing, or, when it will be released, especially because Lost Lyrebird, there was that pressure to get it out. And it was hindering my writing at the end. And I just said, you know what? I need to shut down the release date. I need more time with this one. It's not ready. There's still, issues with it. I'm going to have to push out the date. I don't have a date for you, because it's just going to be done when it's done. And I'm glad I did that, because it wouldn't have been, what it was at the end if I hadn't. And I'm glad I took the time.
Yeah. I feel you on that one. The
Yeah.
noise.
And with this one,
No, go on.
I'm going to make it so damn good that nobody's gonna be, that they're just, because it's the same. It's a why choose, and my plan is just to make it so damn good that, yes, maybe people get angry with me, but I'm gonna revel in that to boost me up to write the next one. So
It is hard because the noise does get loud, and like you said, it can hinder you. Like, because you want to produce it, but then you almost get anxious in your own mind. You're just like, okay, but is it going to be good enough? But
yeah,
I don't
which
know.
doesn't help your creativity at all. So
Yeah, it's tough. And I hear what you say. I had my audio contract for Saving Tink in place because Joe and Maxine had already started recording Losing Neverland and Lost Boy. And so it was like, we want Saving Tink by this date. And I pushed it. I pushed myself to finish the ending. And I'm happy with it, but I wish I would have taken more time because in my mind, if I had, I saw it, yes, possibly ending the same way, but just there being more to it that would have been better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I just,
You wanted to flesh it out a little bit more?
yeah, I wanted to flesh it out more. I wanted there to be a little bit more character development. I just didn't want to rush it. And at the very end, I did. I felt rushed to finish, and I can see it in the writing because I was close to the manuscript at the time. You know what I mean? And I know what I was dealing with. And I don't know if others can, but it was like, okay, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. They need the manuscript and I'm going to need to edit it and I'm going to need to proof it. And I'm going to need everything and get it over to them so that they can record because they're set to record. And it was just like, ugh. And it does almost stunt you. And it made scenes go different ways on page than what I had envisioned in my mind, just to kind of hurry up and get it out. So yeah, I guess it's just a difficult juggle. But I respect you because I did see that with Lost Lyrebird, where you went ahead and you said, "No, I need more time," and I was like, ugh,
Yeah.
I need,
Yeah, because people had already waited 10 years, and I had promised, and I had given dates, and I'd even pushed out the dates, and I was disappointing, like, a lot of people, and also the PR company was like, "Come on," like,
yeah.
I could feel that tension, and I was just like I just said, it was just snipping it, like, snipping the stress, snipping, expectation, and just saying, "You know what? I need more time with this book, and I'm sorry, that sucks, but if it's gonna be what I want it to be, then yeah,
Yeah,
the time
I
with me."
respect that 1,000,000% because it's walking the fine line between the marketing of the books and the being the author. Because when I first got into publishing, the big thing was you just produce. You produce rapidly. You have to put out books every 2 or 3 months. You throw them in KU. You do all this kind of stuff. You want click through. You want this. You want that. And I did that with my first series. And I wish I would have taken more time. But I was running after the marketing game rather than following myself as a writer. And it's just a hard balance because depending on who you talk to in the industry, they'll tell you, no, 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 you have to think marketing wise. You need to put on your marketing hat. You're not doing it correctly. You're not all this kind of stuff. And then you'll talk to others that are like, no, you have to stay true to yourself. Otherwise, you're going to burn yourself out. You're not going to be happy with the end product. All the things. So it's always refreshing when I hear another author, I see another author actually take the assertiveness and be like, no, I'm taking the time. I'm going to make this right.
Mhm.
And also, I love seeing you branch out into other genres because I have never seen, I know they're out there, but in our space, like you don't typically see it. I've kind of felt like a lone ranger, and I'm like, yay, Darby is branching out and doing all these other things like me. I love it.
I do. I feel like, what I wanna show people because, when I talk to people, especially in my day life, and they ask what I write, I'm like, motorcycle romance right now, it's it's a bad representation of who I am as a writer because I've always written these other things and I have so many starts in other genres. And so it was like, you know what? I want to show people what I can do. I want to show people that, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
yes, I'm writing this, and I finished Lost Lyrebird because there was a demand for it, and I had promised,
yeah,
and the fans and the readers deserve that. But I was in a different place mentally of what I wanted to write, and so it was a push and pull against my own, goals and kind of mental state of what I wanted to do, what I wanted to write. And so now that that's done, it was like I did that, and I can now do whatever I want.
yes,
And this is what came to me, and I want. I'm a big like Signs is my favorite movie. M. Night Shyamalan, I think, is absolutely brilliant, and I am a huge like fan of his. And so for me, it's like I very much want to dabble in that, the kind of those stories that are a little psychological,
hmm,
that are dark, that are romantic, that are twisted or apocalyptic. Like I love apocalyptic movies. So yeah, I'm this one this is gonna be, a big one for me, I think.
yeah. I feel like I tell it people all the time. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but like Saving Tink was never supposed to happen. The only reason why I wrote it was because of the readers and the fans. They were like, "Oh, we want more, we want more, we want more," and I was like, "Dude, it really was supposed to end with losing Neverland. There was never supposed to be any more, guys. Like, I was never gonna write anymore, but I did it for them." Now, with you though, what I find interesting is you started out writing other stuff. So why did you pick to publish your motorcycle romance first before your romantasy or paranormal, everything else you've been writing?
Because so I had plotted and plotted and plotted my urban romantasy paranormal series, and it's called Transform, that story. And it was too good. And for me as a writer at that time, I was the writer that I was. I knew that I didn't have the skills to tell the story I wanted to tell because it's that good. And so I was like, I'm going to pause on this and I'm going to write something else that's maybe a little easier. I'm not going to
Mm.
tackle this right now. And so I read Undeniable by Madeline Sheehan and I absolutely fell in love. It's so gritty and it's got this huge age gap and he is the anti-hero big time. And I just loved it, and so I thought I was gonna and I saw at the time there was lots of little novellas that were selling. I'm like, "I'm just gonna start making money as a writer and write a small little sexy short story with Mav and Ember and release it and really show my family, show, other people I'm a writer, I published this and start making money and doing these." And then I was gonna build into the series little by little. Well, that didn't happen because Mav and Ember's book just took on a whole life of its own, and I started plotting, that one to the nth degree.
Mhm.
And so it just kind of yeah, it became this whole series and this whole book, and there'll be 6 books in the series, and yeah, that's how it started. It was just supposed to be a short little sexy novella that I put out to show, and to start my writing career, and it became a thing.
So you've talked about your family and some people hide it from their family. How does your family take you writing what you write? Are they supportive?
Well, my kids really don't understand at all, and they really don't like, mom's a writer, and they know I'm a writer, and they know what I write, but they don't you know what I mean? Like, they just don't care, they don't grasp it,
Yeah.
and they just think, yeah, that I'm, someone that just writes romance kinda thing, and their friends give them crap a little bit, and it's like there's some pride, but also embarrassment on their side, which I find funny and hilarious, but and then I'm single, so it was one of the contention things with being married is because he was not a reader. He was not, you know what I mean, go to events. He didn't like the time that I spent on it. And that was for me a big thing because somebody that loves you unconditionally, like yeah, it was a huge part of me and it had been for years. And I had actually put it on hold too because I was the breadwinner for the family
Mm,
to support my family, to you know what I mean?
yeah.
And when I finally came back to it, I was like, I've had enough of putting myself aside,
Yeah.
to support everybody. And that's kind of where, I made the decision that was like it was about what I need, what I want, who's gonna support me and you know what I mean, and who loves the whole of me, not just, this businesswoman. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So how about your parents? How about do they
Oh, my mom's a whole other my mom's my biggest cheerleader. She is freaking hilarious.
Oh, I love that.
She will yeah, if I'm on TikTok, she'll watch. She, supports everything I do in any way that she can. That woman is amazing. She's my hero. And everybody else in my family, like my sister Rita, they support me. None of them besides my sister and mom are big readers. So they do it from afar, just in any way they can.
Yeah. No, I get that. My family won't read what I write because it has sex in it. So and I'm like, Okay, whatever, And I don't care. I don't care, but my mom will support me. She'll get really excited about things like when I sign audiobook contracts or different other things. She'll get or if I like book signings or what she'll be super supportive that way. But she's very much, Christian community, this, that, all that kind of stuff. And so she's like, no, I can't do it. And it's like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. You don't have to.
My sister's very religious, and when she was beta reading for me, Burning Ember, she's like, I really enjoy the story, but it says the F word so much, and I just can't. And I said, you know what? Okay, fine. I will change it for you. And so I changed all of the F's to EFF so that she still had to read it, but it didn't actually.
Oh, that's funny. She was upset at the cuss words, but not the sex between characters.
No. So I changed it for her, and then, yeah, just for that one edit, I just did, like, a final and changed the F
Yeah,
word to yeah.
that's
Um,
funny.
I don't know, and then my mom's twin and my aunt, and those people are really religious, and I just tell them, like, "I'd rather you don't," like, if because that's why I put the warning in the front of the book, is if you don't like, the F word, if you don't like this, like, please don't read it, even if you're a personal friend, like, just don't.
Yeah.
And they've all told me, like, "One day you'll write a Hallmark story," and I'm trying, and I cannot write anything that's not a little risque, so, yeah.
Oh, I know. And I like even when I'm writing right now, I always start off a project and I'm like, oh, it won't go dark. There won't be some tragic backstory or something. And then I get a couple of chapters into it. I was like, oh, here comes the tragedy. Oh, here comes the darkness. And it's trumped everything I've done before. Like, it's just like, I feel the same. I can't not put it in. But I think the reason why is because it's real life. And that's a way that you write that I loved about it. Is like burning number, even the dialogue between characters and everything like that. Like it was very relatable.
Mhm.
And that's one of the things that I loved the most about it. Like I felt like I was right there with them in their conversations.
Yeah,
And so it's
for
hard.
me,
Go on.
it feels like they're real people with these histories I have to figure out, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I have to unravel that and almost I don't know how to explain it, but, like, you're tapping into something other. And until I fully sense, like, that I know them, it's almost like I can't write them with all the success that I want to. And so I really spend some time with them getting to, know my characters at that level, like, and let them unravel to me. And I almost won't let them go until I know it fully, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's hard for me to let characters go. I've said it to a couple other people before. They say that authors are clairvoyant. And there's a part of me that wonders if it's true. It's like, because it's exactly that. You feel like you're finding a person. You're like, okay, tell me your story. What is your story?
Yeah.
And you let it kind of unravel before you. And when it takes turns or it twists or something else happens, you're like, oh, yeah, I guess this is you. And and I constantly wonder, I'm like, and then I think about that and I think about the clairvoyant scene. I'm like, oh, that's a little creepy. But, it could be true. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
'cause you can almost feel it. You can feel it when it flows. You can feel it when it makes sense. And you can feel it when it's wrong, when you're forcing it or because you're like, what is the issue with this parent? Like, which parent is it? And
Hmm.
or what is, why isn't he in a relationship? Well, why hasn't he found the one? Like, yeah. And then you can, oh, a divorce. No, that doesn't fit. Like something, you're almost, yeah, finding that puzzle piece.
Yeah.
So,
And then when it clicks, oh, it's beautiful. I love it. Like when I get a line or the dialogue flows perfect and then something comes out in a character and you discover it for the first time, like, oh, that makes sense. Like I will sometimes just be like, that makes perfect sense why you are the way you are. And we've been talking the way we've been talking for the last 10 chapters. And I love it. Those epiphany moments of just like, there you go. That's why.
yes, and then when you've fully done it and you've brought them to life, it's like they're real and they're in this world that is make believe and it's still happening somewhere inside your head.
Mhm. Yeah, and it is hard. Like, I ask many people this, so I'm gonna ask you too. I have a moment before release where I don't wanna let go because they've been mine, the world's been mine, and now I have to share it. And I almost like, I get kind of selfish and I don't want to, but then I also get kind of scared because I go, "I love you all so much. I don't wanna release you to the world and have other people hate you." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it gets difficult right before release. Do you
Mhm.
experience that too?
Uh, mine's almost the opposite. I want to say like I am, and maybe that's why I hold on to it. You know what I mean? For as long as I do, because once it hits that for me that I've done it, and that it's everything I want it to be, it's almost like, oh, okay, now let's get it out as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And release it and share it, and I want everybody to fall in love with them as much as I've fallen in love, like that fall in love again, fall in love again song.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's kind of that feeling, and I'm almost disappointed, like, now that not as many people have found Lost Lyrebird and Goose and Lily's story, because I feel like it's just as good, if not better. And it kind of, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, to me, it's heartbreaking because I'm like, oh, if you only knew this existed, like, because for me, it's not me getting, someone to read my story. It's getting someone to read their story,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Like, I, not even for the money. I want people to just read their story.
Yes.
So,
No, I get
yeah.
that. Absolutely. Like, yeah, that was one of the problems that I had when I first became an author. I would give away a lot of free copies of my books because I would feel exactly like, I'm like, I just want you to read it. I just want you to read it. Like, I want people to read these stories. And so I finally had quite a few people be like, they'll pay for these. Stop giving them away for free. I was like, okay.
I know. I should probably do a sell at one point though, just to, you know what I mean? Because I do really want to in more people's hands. I don't know. I feel like it hasn't seen as much love as Burning Ember, and Burning Ember is catching fire a little bit, but yeah, I want it to have that love because I feel like I took the time with it and I feel like their story deserves it.
Yeah. Are you planning any book signings?
We'll see about Twisted with Fiction. I'm on the wait list and I should be closer to the top, so we'll see if there's cancellations. I still might go. I do have a ticket, so that's a maybe even as a reader. And then I'm going to the Ruby Darling one in October, and my plan though is to keep my head down to write as much as I possibly can this year and get books out, and then next year do more of that because I feel like I have the 2, 3, 4 books, and I still feel like a newbie author in a way. I don't know if it's my impersonator, voice talking,
Yeah.
but I still kind of feel a newbie, and I still want that grand, one more, two more grand books to be like, hey, this is me, and especially in a different genre because I don't like being said that I'm a motorcycle romance author. I am, but I'm also these other things.
Yeah.
And I feel like this year is about showing people, yeah, that I am all of these things and that I can write all of these things and that it's actually probably more something I lean towards. And then I have to curb myself to not think out,
Yeah.
go unrealistic in a urban romance. Yeah.
So do you have kind of a tentative release schedule then going into the next year and a half, 2 years into 2027?
Yeah, so I will do this one is probably going to be a late May release, sometime around Twisted with Fiction. If I can get it sooner, like that would be good, but I would say late May, early June. And then I want the next book, the Dark Alice in Wonderland retelling, to be, I would say, by August, September, and then have another one by the end of the year to be
Wow.
released. So that's kind of the plan, and then Overdoser is 2027. If I need to shut everything down to just do Overdoser, that will be the one that I release in 2027.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, you have a big end of the year plan then for 2026. Do you have any of them planned in audio yet or thoughts about audio?
no, I haven't really thought about audio, just money wise. I'm back to working full time. Like, me and my daughter moved, we're selling our house. So for me, it was like focus on the writing
Yeah.
and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Letting that come. Yeah, we'll see. I haven't really planned anything for audio yet.
Yeah, audio is expensive and it's difficult as a writer. Me and Penny Crane talk about this all the time because you have readers who will read like ebooks and paperbacks, but then you have people who are just strictly audiobook people. And so when you go publish, like you get a lot of, when is it going to be an audio? When is it going to be an audio? And you're like, whoo, we're trying. Okay. But the price tag is pretty expensive, but here it is in paperback. And they'll be like, no. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a big investment.
Well, and I even thought for a minute, like, do I want to go traditionally published with this one? Do I want to get that kind of reach on it? Like, that's still, but
Yeah.
because I don't know, I guess with Lost Library, that's the only reason I would question it is to get the reach, further than what I did because I did everything for Lost Lyrebird. I could, right?
Yeah.
Marketing and I great audio, everything, and it's still not getting the reach that I need. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
who knows? I might go hybrid and traditionally publish it and just test that water, to see on this series. And that would take the control of some of the things out of my hands. I will tell you, I have the cover art almost done, and it is so freaking gorgeous. Like
Oh.
it's going to be amazing.
Did you create it yourself, or did you have someone else create it?
No, this time I totally paid and had an artist create it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has that whole romantic-y look to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Romantic books will sell me just on the cover alone. I have so many on my shelves that I've never read, but I'm like, ooh, you're pretty. I just need you for the shelf. And I'm sure they're great books, but I haven't read them yet, but they sure are freaking beautiful, So.
Yeah.
All right, well, Miss Darby, we have 5 minutes left. I'm going to hit you with some rapid fire so that we can kind of get to know you a little bit more funner with the rapid fire. And then me and you can both head back to our writing and you can bust out your last 2 chapters of your book. That's exciting. I want you to hit that today.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go. First question, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee. How do you take your coffee? Do you take it sweet and all sugared up, or do you take it black?
Sugar and cream.
Sugar and cream. Hot dogs or hamburgers?
Hamburger.
Hamburger. Mountains or beach?
Beach.
Beach. Summer or winter?
Definitely a summer girl.
How has the winter been in Utah so far? I mean, we are still, it's almost week 3 and we're still in like snow and ice in Kentucky.
It's only snowed twice. And the funny thing is I actually moved because I did not want to make the drive to take my daughter to dance to go through the snow. And it's snowed twice. It has been cold and bitter cold, but it's been a mild winter. But usually that is not the case.
Yeah.
Usually it is like so awful. Yeah.
Yeah, we have some friends who live in Utah and I'm like, no, don't ever want to go to Utah. No. But we had snow come in and ice come in almost 3 weeks ago now, and it is still on the ground in Kentucky. Like I'm looking at my front yard right now, and it's just covered. And we're finally supposed to warm up tomorrow into like almost 60 degrees, and I'm like, oh, thank God, we'll be able to see things. Like, ugh, I'm over it. I'm definitely ready for the summer.
I plan to move to a part of Utah that has like more of the desert, the Red Rocks, which is where my parents live. As soon as my baby's out of the house, I'm like, then I'm going to be a desert rose from then on. So.
Yeah. So are you morning or evening?
Both.
Both?
I think I'm kind of both. Yeah. Like I stay up late but I'm also an early bird, and I'm a writer first thing in the morning. That's the most creative time. But I stay up late too. So caffeine fuels my journey all day long.
There you go. Yeah, I guess I could do both too when I think about it as I'm getting older. Yeah, I think as your kids get older, you can do both. When my kids were younger, I was like, I have to go to bed because I knew what I had to get up and run after in the morning. But as they've gotten older and they're doing their own things, I'm like, yeah, I could go either way.
Yeah.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs. Mm-hmm. I'm a dog lover.
Dogs. Do you have dogs?
I do. I have one's a Shorkie and one's a Shih Tzu. And the Shih Tzu is just my baby. Like she turns into an absolute like stuffed animal if you hold her. She just goes limp. She's just a lover. Like she's the cutest little thing.
I love it. So, and snacks, salty or sweet?
Kind of both. I'm a like nib. Do you know what nibs are? That's one of my like favorite things.
No, but is it kind of like a salty? Salty, yeah. I like both. Like I love like the chocolate or yogurt covered pretzels, like where you get the little bit of the best of both worlds. So if nibs are like that, then that's definitely me too.
Those are they're like little Twizzlers, like little teeny licorice, but they're in a tiny little cube. Okay. And then I also love like chocolate covered. It's kind of an orange gummy with chocolate covered.
Yeah,
it's yummy.
Yum. So do you text or do you rather phone call?
Phone call.
Vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Do you like dark or milk chocolate?
Milk chocolate.
Okay.
Definitely. Semi-sweet, even better.
So polka dots or stripes?
Polka dots. Definitely. I would be a rockabilly
yes.
girl if I could get away with it, 100%. The glasses, the dresses, like,
Yes.
please take me back to that time period.
Oh, I even have I have some of that, and I even have the tulle underskirts. I have them in like red, black, and white up in my closet. Like, because I used to do little rockabilly. I know, I
We
love
need
it
to
too.
arrive to a thing like that. Let's do that. Oh, we'll totally
Oh, I'll totally do
an
it.
event.
Yes.
Let's do it.
I will do it with you. I swear to God, I can bust it out. It's like my favorite. I've got glasses. I've got everything. I love it.
Oh, we are doing it. Okay, I love that.
It's a plan. So, city or countryside?
Countryside. Take me to Ireland, please.
Ooh, I know. A trip to Ireland is like a bucket list dream trip. I want to take that trip so bad.
Yes, I didn't. I went for a short amount of time, and I went and see like the Cliffs of Moher, and I want to go back and just spend a month living there.
Oh, yeah. Ireland is one of the places where I think someone would say, "Do you want to move to Ireland?" And I'd be like, "Yes, I do." And I have never even been there. I think I could just go and I'd be perfectly happy. I don't think there would be a problem.
Me too.
So would you rather stay in or go out?
I'm both. I can definitely veg on the couch and watch a movie. I love, I'm a movie buff, big time. But I also love to dance and I love to go out. So yeah, I make either or.
Kind of like the morning and evening where it's like, either. Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up for. Yeah, I'm pretty much up for anything. Yeah.
So time travel or teleportation?
Teleportation. Yes.
Where would you go?
Well, I'd be in the sky and just teleport around.
Just go everywhere. Just so basically flying. So would you rather a pet dragon or a pet unicorn?
Pet dragon.
Okay. Would you rather a rewind or a pause button?
Pause. Like, can I move during the pause? Like, can I still operate and do things? Because I would pause time and do as much as I can, and then unpause time. So I would still time. Yeah.
If that's not a mom answer, I don't know what is. Exactly. Like, let me pause and hurry up and do other things, and then we can start again. Yes.
Give me 36 hours in a day. You stick with 24 and watch what I can do.
Exactly. I love that. So you kind of answered this one. Would you rather be invisible or fly?
Fly.
Fly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
I mean, I could do some shady stuff, being invisible, but
you're like, I'd get into too much trouble. It's better for the world if I just fly.
yeah.
So comedy or drama?
Comedy.
Okay. Are you a driver or the passenger when you're driving?
Oh, I love to be a driver. Yeah, there's only certain, like, I guess my teenagers, that's horrible being a passenger, but it depends on who's driving. But yeah, I like to drive.
True.
Usually.
So fruits or vegetables?
Neither. Poor. Carbohydrates. Diet Dr. Pepper.
You're like, do I have to?
a little of both. Like a little of both.
Yeah. Just a little. So you kind of answered my next question, Coke or Pepsi, but you said Dr. Pepper.
Diet Dr. Pepper. Yeah. It should be an IV that I have set up.
I do. At this point. I do love Diet Dr. Pepper. That is a good one right there. I went on a kick. I've been on kicks of, if I'm going to grab one, it's typically a Diet Dr. Pepper. Tattoos or piercings?
Unhealthy now. Tattoos or what?
Piercings.
Tattoos.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And a game, are you the truth or the dare?
Like, am I asking the question or am I answering the action?
You're answering the action.
Probably truth, but I want to pick dare, but it depends on the person. I might be like too chicken to pick dare.
I tell everyone, I'm like, I've been on the receiving end of some really bad dares. So anymore, it's truth.
Yeah.
So for food, do you like spicy or mild?
Mild. I like spicy Mexican, mild on everything else. Like if it's Indian food, I'm going to do mild.
I 100% understand that answer. Yes. And my last question, pirates or ninjas?
Oh, pirating ninjas? I can't pick. I'm always like, I have a hard time making a decision. I would say if I had to choose pirates, but can there be pirating ninjas?
You're like, can pirates be sort of ninja-y? I think so. I think so. What is it that Andy Eloise said the other day? She was like, I'm going to pick ninjas because they're cleaner. I think that was her answer.
Because they're cleaner.
Oh,
I would be like, I think that's is, like, why does it have to be one or the other? Why can't we just make it a hybrid? Yeah.
right. Why is this a why choose? I could pick both. All right. Well, Miss Darby, that was all I had for you. And I don't want to keep you longer from your writing cave. So that was it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was fun. It's always a joy to hang out and talk with you. And hopefully I will see you at Tempted by Fiction and at some other book signings in 2027. And good luck on finishing your book today. Go get at it and type the end because that is an awesome freaking feeling.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
See ya.